My name is Mo Amir, and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show right here on Check and Check Plus. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Tonight, we have a show of superstars. Comedian Andrea Jin, who is up for Best Comedy Album at this year's Juno Awards, joins us to discuss all the places you can't take dogs and all the comedy venues that closed down over the last few years. But first, did you know that CBS's competitive reality TV series Survivor has been on air for 22 years? And it's only until recently that Canadians were able to compete on the show. In fact, the very first Canadian to play Survivor actually won Survivor last year in season 41. From Toronto, Ontario, she quit her job for the opportunity to be on the show, and she outwitted, outplayed, and outlasted the competition in a season with brand new rules and advantages. She's now a special correspondent on ET Canada. She's Erika Casupanan. Erika, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Hello, it is my pleasure to be here with you, Mo.
So first of all, thank you for representing Canada. It was a long time coming for Canadians to be on the show, and you proved that we're not messing around.
Not at all. We might be nice, but we're here to play.
I love it. Well, hey, I've been a fan of the show from the beginning. Maybe not a super fan, not sure if I would ever do it myself, but I have to know, what is the bathroom situation in Survivor? Like, there must be some nice running toilets and soaps behind the scenes that the cameras never show us, right?
Well, if you mean nice running toilets, it's actually the ocean. So our toilet is the ocean, and our toilet paper is the wet sand in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And yes. And if it's nighttime, you're not allowed to go into the ocean. And that's when you go in the jungle and you have leaves. But trust me, you would rather have the wet sand than the mystery leaf you pick up in the middle of the night.
That sounds like it could get dangerous. Now, I don't want to get too graphic, but how do folks know that you're not sneaking off looking for immunity idols or advantages if you just have to go to the bathroom during the show?
Well, there are these weird code words that we need to use if we need to do something where we're going to be off camera. So we use a code word to tell each other that we're going to go to the bathroom. And it's because production needs to be able to film us finding idols, but they can't film us if we say we're going to the bathroom. So we're not really allowed to lie and say we're going to the bathroom and then go look for something.
No, and that's fair enough. And speaking of being put in compromising positions for the whole world to watch, one thing you told me before we got started is you never expected to be crying in your underwear for the amusement and entertainment of folks all around the world.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like ever since I've been on Survivor, now anytime I'm in a situation where I'm nervous or I do something new, I tell myself, millions of people have seen me cry in my underwear, so what's the worst that can happen?
Right? You've been through it. That's amazing. Well, you know, Survivor really kicked off a gold rush in reality TV, and it's still here. The 42nd season is airing right now on CBS, and the show almost seems to have gotten harder. Your season of Survivor, season 41, actually marked a turning point for the series. There were major changes to advantages and gameplay, like the hourglass game changer, which was very pivotal in your game. Having gone through it with plenty of ups and downs, including the crying that you just talked about, is there any way to truly physically and emotionally prepare for the experience of being on Survivor, especially because this game seems to evolve every season?
I have been a huge fan of Survivor since the first season. I've watched every episode. I studied every episode before I went to play. Mm-hmm. And I remember days before we were supposed to start filming, we were told the game is not going to be 39 days. It's going to be 26 days. And I thought, okay, if they're willing to change the length of days, which I thought was so sacred, then anything is on the table. So I almost threw everything that I knew out the window. And I thought, I'm just going to roll with the punches. I'm going to roll with whatever gets thrown at me. And then I ended up coming out on top.
Absolutely. You know, I love that mindset. It's kind of the mindset I have in my real life. It's like, listen, I don't know anything. I'll just take it as it comes and roll with the punches. As the season 41 sole survivor, you won $1 million American dollars. So in terms of real estate, what does that get you in Toronto? Like a shack 40 minutes outside the city?
I don't know if it gets me anything in Toronto. Maybe I get a studio apartment. I don't know. It's $1 million. I'm happy to have won $1 million, but I will say $1 million doesn't go as far as it did in 2000.
Not even $1 million American dollars?
I mean, you live in Vancouver. You know the crazy real estate market in cities in Canada. You tell me.
No, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing. I've never known anyone to win that much money all at once. Obviously, so well earned. So I have to ask, what was your very first purchase?
So I did the responsible thing. Most of the money is invested. I'm figuring out how I can buy that shack 40 minutes outside of Toronto. But the first impulsive thing that was purely for fun that I did is I actually got tickets to see BTS in Las Vegas, and I got to treat my sister and my sister-in-law to go.
Oh, wow. That's so nice of you. Are they BTS fans as well, or was it more of a you thing? Like it was for you?
Oh, we're all ARMY. We are in it.
So, as I noted, only recently Canadians are finally allowed to play Survivor, and you were the first one to play, and of course, you won. There are 3 Canadians on this current season, however, still no British Columbians. So give your advice to the Survivor superfan that's sitting here in BC. What should they do in their application to give themselves the best shot to be on the show? And now, I'm not talking about how to win the show. I just want to know the life hack to actually get on Survivor.
So my main piece of advice for your audition is to know how you're already playing Survivor in your real life and how you're already winning it. So whether you're a lawyer or a babysitter or a cashier or whatever you do, or a stay-at-home parent, talk about how you're already outwitting, outplaying, and outlasting and winning. And I think that that's going to be what helps you to stand out. Don't do what you think you need. I don't know. People think that they need to be crazy and jump out of trees and all of that. It doesn't matter. Talk about how you're already a winner.
What if you did like an audition video where you were crying in your underwear and you said, you know, I don't mind if this goes out to the universe?
You know what? I think that if you make a compelling case for how the crying in underwear is what will make you win, you could have a shot.
I love it. Erika, this was a real treat. Thank you so much for your time. You had an incredible narrative on the show, and really, you worked so hard for that win. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing you compete again in an all-star season, perhaps.
We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for having me. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. Folks, that was Erika Casupanan, the winner of CBS's Survivor, season 41, and the first Canadian to win the show. If you're a fan of Survivor, Erika does some excellent recaps on ET Canada and some really great interviews with the booted contestants this season. Now, after some business, there are still a lot of places where you can't take your dog. The 2022 Juno Awards in Toronto on May 15th is probably one of those places, even if you're nominated for Best Comedy Album. We're going to find out more with comedian Andrea Jin up next. I'm Mo Amir. This is VANCOLOUR.